Hey, what's up, guys? Steve Trowbridge here. Alright, so this video was brought to my attention by Ranting Doomkai, aka Gage, and he is actually going to be doing a video of his own on this. However, because I did my recent video with the title Centrists or Cowards, I figured it was only fitting that I would try to do a response to this video, and I'm going to be going into this video completely cold. I tried to watch this video before. I got like 30 seconds in, and I figured I'd just go into this video cold and respond point by point as best as I can. Now, I will point out that this video is 7 months old, so this is not a recent video, but I still think that given my my second most recent upload, I feel that it's only fitting to do a response to this video even still. So, and I think it's still relevant right now. So, because more and more people are not completely associating themselves with the left or right, or with the Democratic Party or Republican Party or the Progressive Party or whatever. A lot of people are becoming more and more independent. Okay, it's very important to get the centrist vote, to get the vote from people who are kind of in the middle. So the title of this video is centrists are just conservatives in denial. So apparently I'm a conservative in denial because I'm such a conservative. I'm such a conservative that I support gay marriage, I support LGBT rights. I mean, with the exception of the 76 genders thing, I'm pretty liberal on LGBT rights. I'm pro-choice. I am for legalizing marijuana completely. A few other things. I would say that most conservatives probably don't hold those positions. Maybe not, maybe some, but I mean, I'd say that those aren't really conservative positions to take, and those are positions that I do take. So, yeah. But, whatever, let's see what he has to say. Alright. Oops. I want to skip that far ahead. Alright.
Why? And I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but I can't help but wonder this, and I'm sure you wonder this too. Why isn't centrism the object of ridicule everywhere? Why is that not the case? Like why? First of all, let's get a couple things clear.
Well, why should it be? I mean, of course, that's not to say that, centrists can't question their own beliefs and stuff and be the object of criticism. But, I mean, the way that you're setting this up, the way you're framing this, is that centrism is just this outrageous thing. Like, it's so bad to not be completely aligned with the Republican Party or the Democratic Party or one camp or another. Like, it's so bad to just be in the middle of things. Unless you're one of these people that thinks that centrists are just undecided on every single issue, which isn't the case. It just means that you kind of pick and choose from each party what you agree with and what you disagree with. It's like a buffet. You go into a buffet, you kind of pick what you want, and you leave what you don't want. Kind of like with centrists, they just kind of pick and choose from, what they like. And they're a combination of the beliefs of different systems, of different parties. But let's see what you have to say.
Centrism in contemporary United States politics isn't a real thing. It's not real. It doesn't exist. If you are a centrist by contemporary United States standards, you are right-wing.
Well, that's a pretty big generalization to make. Are you going to back that up? Let's see how you explain this. It's very disingenuous to just to categorize someone as something when you know nothing about any of those people. Like, you're literally taking a large group of people because, like I said, more and more people are beginning to kind of just be in the middle, are kind of like in the middle road when it comes to politics. And you're just now categorizing them all as right-wing because why?
You're a conservative. I like to call you a SID, conservative in denial, because you're a conservative. You just don't want to be called that. But you're conservative. There's nothing...
I'm loving the smug tone and the smug look on your face. Did you learn that from Cenk Uygur? Apparently from your description, you're a contributor to the Young Turks. That might explain why.
Remotely middle of the road about your views, because a centrist in contemporary United States politics isn't sure about universal health care, isn't sure about tuition-free college, is pro-fracking in most cases.
So you're saying that every centrist has the same mindset, and you're one of these people that apparently thinks that centrists are just like on the fence about every single issue. That's not the case. Maybe some are, but most centrists are not. Okay, let's just use me as an example. I already explained, I'm pro-gay marriage, I'm pro-legalizing marijuana entirely, I'm pro-choice, with trans rights, I'm mostly liberal, but when it comes to gun rights, I lean right. When it comes to immigration, I more or less lean right. I'm kind of center-right, I guess you could say, on immigration. I at least think that I think that border protection is necessary. I think that borders are necessary. I'm not really with this whole get rid of borders thing. Taxes, I'm for lower taxes. Universal health care, not sure that's a good idea. There are things that I lean left on, there's things that I lean right on, but my mind is made up about these issues. I'm not on the fence on all of these issues. And neither are a lot of other centrists.
Is against living wages. Is probably to the right on most social issues too. Or you're
No.
half and half. You see both sides.
Well, what's wrong with seeing both sides? What's wrong with seeing both sides of an argument? Or seeing both points of views, or multiple points of views. It doesn't have to just be one or the other. It can be multiple points of views. Okay, people are more morally gray than that. Not everything is completely black and white. Okay, just because someone doesn't completely get with your ideological echo chamber does not mean that they are automatically the opposite of what your ideological echo chamber is.
You're conservative. That's what you are.
Because you say so. Because you say so. Not because it's the truth, because you say so.
Conservative, or worse, you're a blank suit. So why, when someone says, I'm kind of a moderate, you should stop listening to them.
Why? Why should you stop listening to them? What? Because, once again, they're not completely with your ideological echo chamber? What? They're a moderate, so they don't go to the extreme? They're not part of the fringe extreme left or the fringe extreme right? It's not really healthy to be an extremist on any side,
That's if someone says I'm a moderate, I'm not listening anymore. I stop listening. At least with the Republicans. They make it clear what they're about. At least with...
Oh, yes. Okay. So this is what I thought you were going to do. Well, I don't like Republicans, but at least they're clear about what they're about. At least yeah, that's basically what you're saying. So basically you're saying if you're not completely part of one side or the other, then you're a coward, you're an idiot, you don't deserve to be listened to, you shouldn't be taken seriously, the end. That's what you're saying, basically in a nutshell. Well, because of that, I don't take you seriously either. If you're not even going to take into consideration what my views are, don't even think I should be listened to, then I shouldn't give you the same courtesy. And neither should anyone else.
With Republicans, hey, if you're poor, we don't give a shit. If you're poor, hurry up and die. That could be the GOP slogan by...
Mischaracterization of Republicans. Maybe some of them are that way, but...
By the way, and they'd still beat the Democrats. Hey, if you're poor, hurry up and die. Vote for us. And it would probably work for them. They'd probably still win. So why...
Hey, we're the Progressive Party. We want to give everyone free shit, and you don't have to work for anything. You can just have everything handed to you. See how that works?
Isn't centrism just the object of ridicule? In every... even in bigger...
I don't know. You haven't been saying much of substance yet.
Spaces. It's not even real. It's fake. It's not real. There is there is no you're right wing.
Why? Why am I right wing just because I claim to be in the middle? What do you call libertarians? I mean, do you think that there's only Democratic and Republican? There can be nothing else? What do you call independents? Do they not exist who are independents? Are independents just Republicans in denial just because you say so? You're making a lot of definitive statements without backing them up whatsoever.
In other countries, you'd be considered far right wing. I mean, we watched a clip on the Jimmy Dore show of Teresa.
In what countries? What, Canada? I mean, in Islamic countries, I mean, people like me would probably be considered far left, or whatever, however their political system works over there. You know, because of the positions I take on LGBT issues, and because, you know, in the Middle East, or at least where Islam is the majority religion in those countries, women are treated like second-class citizens, which is not something I support, and which is something that most of the Western world does not support.
Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn arguing over the NHS, excuse me. They weren't arguing over whether or not the NHS should exist.
You know, it kind of just seems to me that you're mad that you can't put people like me in a box, and so it makes it harder for you to argue against me, or anyone like me who takes up similar positions. You know, you want to have this black and white worldview of people, at least in terms of politics, but that's not how it works. Unfortunately, people are often more gray than that, function from a more gray scope than what you're wanting to think.
They were arguing over how much money should be put into it.
People are more.
And of course, Theresa May is to the right, so she was arguing there should be less.
People are more complex than that.
They're arguing for privatization within that system to benefit the rich, yes. But even the right wing agreed that it should be a thing, that nobody should die out in the streets, that they should have a universal system. So if you're not even sure about that and you consider yourself a moderate, guess what? You're not a moderate. You're a conservative in denial. You know what a moderate is?
So let's just say this: even if you're on the fence about an issue, like you've kind of analyzed both sides, you've looked at both arguments, and you're not really sure like where you stand on a certain issue. Like, even if you're that way, then so what? So what if you're not completely sure about one issue? Who cares? That doesn't mean that you're automatically one thing or another. I mean, that's like me. That's like if I meet someone who is kind of unsure about marijuana, about, you know, legalizing marijuana. Like, you know, they've considered it, but they're not sure. Like, I'm not gonna immediately say, well, you know what, you're just a fucking conservative. You're just a conservative. You're just a part of the religious right who thinks weed is the devil's grass. That's idiotic. That's idiotic logic to go by. That's an idiotic thought process, and that's one that you're using right now. I mean, the fact that you even have 19,000 subscribers and this video got actually more likes than dislikes is amazing. Is baffling.
A moderate is that person in high school that just said whatever people wanted to hear so that everybody liked them, but in the end they were just two-faced. If they were talking to somebody that didn't like Joe, they didn't like Joe.
Yeah, that's a kind of a big generalization you're making there, and somewhat of a false equivalency.
But when they were talking to Joe and Joe didn't like Barry, they didn't like Barry either.
I mean, I guess I see what you're trying to do there, but again, you're setting up this premise where moderates or centrists are just completely going back and forth on an issue. Like, they'll be on the left of an issue at one point, and then they'll be on the right of an issue. Like, you're making it seem like people who are in the middle are just so easily swayed, like they have that little agency about themselves. You know. Like my stance on gay marriage, I'm just using gay marriage as an example, but my stance on gay marriage is solid. Like it's not going to be changed. I'm left leaning when it comes to that issue. My mind is made up on that issue. Just like my mind on gun control is made up. I think gun control is pretty useless. But
They stood for nothing. They're that person. That's a moderate. That's what a.
so moderates, centrists, and independents stand for nothing. That's what you're saying. Because they won't get with your side, then they stand for nothing. Or at the very least, if they don't fit into your black and white lens, then they won't get. Then they don't stand for anything. They don't believe in anything. You're basically saying that they basically have no morals because they're all two-faced apparently. This is the most idiotic argument I've heard for centrists.
Moderate.
For centrism.
So why? I mean, why? It should be a kiss of death. When you say I'm a moderate, it should be a true just recipe to lose. And honestly, it already is. In many ways, it already is. So let me see what you guys are saying. Centrism. Austin says centrism is nihilism.
How?
You'd have to expand on that. How is it nihilism?
Yeah, you would have to expand on that, and I think you should expand on your reasoning as well because you haven't really done so. You've given a very poor comparison about what some kid and some impressionable, naive kid in high school whose mind was so easily swayed. Like they were two-faced, they would act like they liked someone, or they would say they liked someone, but then the minute they heard someone else say something negative about them, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, fuck yeah, I hate that person." And somehow that's the same mindset as what a centrist has. Like for me, for example, or just any other centrist, for example. Like there's a centrist that I'll just use gay marriage as an example again. They're firmly in support of gay marriage, but then like they hear some right wing person talk about why it shouldn't be okay, and then they're like, "Oh well, you know what? I was completely wrong." Like, I think that people have more strong stances than that. I think centrists have a little more agency than that.
I don't think it's nihilism because it's. Here's why I disagree that it's nihilism, even though I like that sentiment, but I don't think I see it that way. But I would say centrism is not nihilism because
Well, at least you're being a little reasonable here.
they still give reverence to our contemporary system. You know what I mean? Like they're saying we're middle of the road in this contemporary system that we think deserves reverence. And that's why, by the way, I have been asked a number of times if I would ever run for office, which I'm flattered when people suggest that
Just
to
checking
me.
the time.
It is flattering, and so thanks, I guess. But the answer is no, and the reason the answer is no is, and for our process, I don't. I just don't. To me, our contemporary system is so clearly a grift and so clearly corrupt beyond saving that I just don't see any need to throw any reverence into it. It's not deserving of reverence. You know, I went to a Democratic meeting once.
So, basically, in a nutshell, I mean, I don't know how much more I'm going to respond to this, but basically, in a nutshell, this guy is saying that if you're not completely Democrat or completely Republican, or if you're just not completely with one very specific political party, then you don't deserve to be listened to. Your views, your arguments don't deserve to be listened to. You don't deserve a voice. You stand for nothing. You're apparently two-faced, and of course, you are a conservative, a right-winger, and denial. So, let's see if he says anything else.
Because there were a lot of actual progressives there, because this was in the Los Angeles area, and I was there to promote the Municipal Internet Task Force that we're working on. And I was, I made fun of the mayor when I was talking. I made fun of, I kind of did like a little, I guess, some people thought it was a routine. It really wasn't. It was just me off the top of my head. But and some people thought that I was sort of not showing the proper respect for their space, and
All right, let's just.
is in no way deserving any respect whatsoever. The fact that you have Democratic Party near you, you do not deserve any type of reverence at all. I could have said whatever I wanted there, and it would have been appropriate, and I would have not felt bad. Offended you? Here's an idea: don't join my fucking task force. Go have.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of blanking right here. I'm waiting for him to move on, but
Go do that. So that's why I don't think that centrism is nihilism. Although I do like this the sentiment. Can you be a radical centrist? No, you can't. Dems don't want to absorb left-wing folks. They're still ridiculing them. The Dem strategy was to lose the left and pick up right-wingers who hated Trump. Well.
Alright, so it looks like this guy is just answering questions at this point. I think I've pretty much responded to the meat of this video, but, you know, I mean, it baffles me that this line of thinking, like, you know, if you don't match up with political affiliations that I think are appropriate or that I think are worthwhile or that I think are legitimate, you know, in my own subjective opinion, then you're not worth the time, basically. That's a very ignorant way to think. That's a very ignorant, logical thinking process to go by. You know, but you probably have said centrists are cowards before, but, you know, in reality, the only one being cowardly, really, is you. Cowardly and disingenuous. So that pretty much wraps this one up. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you guys later. So peace, and have a good day.